This conference will now be recorded.
So since you guys are saying you are understanding all these concepts so very well, let me go ahead and ask you a question. Let me know when you guys see one of my screen. What's happening? Why is it not allowing me to share? That's stupid. So you guys able to see my VS Code?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead with today's topic. You're just seeing that screen, right? Or are you seeing my other screen also? I want to make sure it's something.
Yeah, only VS Code. Yeah, only VS Code screen is visible.
Okay, cool. We did discuss this. Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. So let's say I have a list. 11. Let me take some random numbers, not picking on anything. Okay. What if I do this? Let me do this and then do this. Or, okay, let's do this. Come on. So what do you guys think would be my output?
$58.
Okay, so I got one answer as 58. Anybody else wants to give it a shot?
No. 90.
90? Okay.
Yeah.
Najam says 90. Tushar, Fahim, what do you guys say who have been attending these classes? Sorry? Fahim, you're not audible.
Okay, so it would be 01 minus.
Yeah, it will be that. Hello? It will be that 58.
Tushar says 58. Okay. I hope you guys are not running it and seeing, right?
No, Ankit, no. I'm using the mobile only today.
That's good. That works better for me.
Yeah.
All right. So nobody says 11. I'm saying it's 11.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, Fahim, you want to change?
Yeah, 58.
Okay, you're
Minus
saying 58. So nobody's going for anything else? Najam says 90. Fahim says 58. I'm saying 11.
What? But you applied the sort function, right? So it will be usually sorted in the ascending order, but the list is already in the ascending order. And if you do -1, it's going from right to left. So the
Actually,
-1, yeah.
let me make it worse. Let's do it now. You guys want to change your answers? I meant that actually, just missed the comma.
Oh,
Let's make it even worse. Let's make it this.
2, 3, 5, 11, 2, 3, 5, 6, 11, 58, 90.
Yeah,
So 90
just
will
give me the
still be
answer.
at the last.
Don't tell me the output yet. I mean, don't tell me the logic yet. I want others also to think.
Okay.
Yeah. So no answers? Nobody?
Yeah, it will be still that one.
90 you're saying?
No, 58. 58.
58, sorry. Okay. Anybody else?
I think I should go for 98.
58,
You're
Raj.
saying 90?
99.
58, okay. So I have two people for 58. Nobody likes 11, huh? Okay, let me take that. Let's see. Okay, so 58 is the answer. Where is this coming from? Let me first go ahead and take this into. So somebody who said 58 can explain the answer to the rest of the people?
Yeah, basically it's sorted that list in the ascending order. and later,
Okay.
as we are using the -1 as a step value, so it will print the whole list in the reverse order, and out of that list, we are picking one as a sublist. So 0 will be that 90 and first position 58.
Correct. So, thank you, Tushar. So I don't know how many of you guys followed that, but it's simple. I just added 4 things in just one question. And interview questions are going to be like this. And these are still basic interview questions. So, guys, everybody has to follow it along. Everybody has to practice it. I know we didn't discuss sort function, but I remember I told you guys to go to there like zillion functions in list. So if you go through some functions, at least on Google, you will really, I mean, these are like basic straightforward stuff, right? Sorting means sorting into ascending order, like Tushar was saying. So at this statement, what will be my list X? It'll be 2, 3, 5, 6, then 11, then 58, then 90, right? So now let's see this step by step. So first thing what I'm asking to do is, so right now I'm using 3 concepts here, right? And that is I'm doing slicing, and what does my slicing say? Start and end. Okay, that's default. And then third thing I'm saying reverse, which is the step value, which is -1, which means I'm saying reverse the order. So now what is my list at this moment? 90, 58, 11, 6, 5, 3, 2, correct? I just reversed it. So this is my new list right at this minute. What am I saying after that? Please tell me the index value at 1. And how do we start? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how we got 58, because 58 is the element at the first. So guys, please practice more and learn to play around with these things, because once you start combining concepts, right? I just didn't combine much concepts here. It's only one concept that I combined. It becomes a little confusing. So more and more and more practice. All right, great job, Nazam, Tushar. So we've already finished lists. I'm not going to go back to it. Just a few concepts are left. We'll have to see once we get into functions and for loops and stuff, because those can't be explained before that. We also finished tuples almost. So tuple is pretty much a list, like I was telling you guys, and we were seeing so many examples. It basically is immutable, and mostly it's used for static data. So by static, I mean which doesn't change forever. So for example, your name in a form will always remain the constant, Tushar or Ankit or whatever it is, like your name in your first name in your passport or something like that. So for those data elements, you always use tuples, which are static data and do not change. The simple reason they are immutable, and we saw that we cannot change those, otherwise it errors out. So so let's go ahead with sets today. Let me make another file here. Set example.py. So sets, what are sets? Sets is one concept that is generally seen very lightly. And people think, oh, it's a simple thing. We know list, we know tuples. Set is just another way of another data element and stuff. But if you see, most of the people in interview ask questions around sets because they're very, very confusing. And we'll see them as we go ahead. So first of all, what is a set? So if we go back to our plain old 10th or 9th grade mathematics, we are talking about those sets which deal a lot with mathematical computations. And that's what Python is giving us. So I'm pretty sure you guys have heard about this, right? Most of you would have heard about this package. It's a Python package which is very well known for data science guys. So the whole SciPy was built using sets, and SciPy uses a lot of inbuilt set function, and it even takes it further. And that's one of the most widely used Python package. And not just data science in general also, but of course it has the most use in data science. So now let me go ahead and close this chat, guys. Okay. So the thing, why do we need sets when we already have lists, tuple, and so many other data sets? So far we have seen lists are like our best example, or are most commonly suited. In fact, when you start programming, those would be the ones that you will be using day in and day out for various reasons. One, it's a heterogeneous system. or a heterogeneous data type. So you can store numbers, float, variables, anything that you want. Second, it allows duplicates. Third, they are mutable. You can change values in it. But there could be situations where you do not want to, let's say allow duplicate values, for example. So then sets comes into picture. Python gives us the concept of set where you can remove duplicate values and can only have unique values. So remember that guys, sets always store unique values. And we'll see in a minute how I can prove that. But before that, how do we define sets? So it's very simple. Again, two ways. As always, Python gives us A equal to this. So whenever you have these curly braces, that means it's a set. And B, can anybody guess? We have done this many times.
Dot set.
That is using a set function.
Yeah, typecast.
Yes. So it's just like we did list and tuple as well. So these are the two ways you can do it. Now let's go ahead and see, for example, set example only. 1, 2. Okay, let me first do this. So you guys just blatantly agree what I said, right? You guys should question, is that correct or not? Okay, let me ask you a question. What will be the output here? I just told you guys set is defined like this. Okay?
Set.
Class set, you mean. Okay, anybody else?
I think it's gonna be dictionary.
That is correct answer. So now you guys will be confused because Ankit just told you this. So guys, this is a very important concept and you should remember this. Another interview question, basic, still a good interview question. Sometimes people fall for this. So why it didn't show me as a set? The only reason is in Python, when you give curly brackets with no values, that is considered as a dictionary. We will talk dictionary in the next class. But for now, just keep it as in your mind that it's another type of a data structure in Python. So in order for this to be stored as a set, it does need some values. See, the moment I gave 1, 2, now it is taking as class set. So this is very important, guys. Remember this, and you might get this question asked sometimes. So whenever it's empty, it's always, the notation is always for dictionary, not for set. And you can also say that's a difference between how you define a set and a dictionary. But anyways, we'll talk more dictionary. So now if I wanted to, let me take the same example. If I wanted to do this, do you think this will still work? Forget the type now. We're done with type. What do you guys think? Will it print the set or will it give me an error? It should print. See, it prints Ankit also. So again, the same concept, just like list and all those things. But you might ask, set was, like I said in the beginning, is more like for mathematical computations. So even though Python allows you to use these, it doesn't really make much of a sense. Besides, we would hardly be seeing any of these examples because everything set has to provide is to do with computation of mathematics. So, but just in case if you get asked, you should remember that yes, it also can save heterogeneous data. So now I'm going to add one more thing to it. So can anybody tell me what will be the output here? Will it be error? Will it be just printing the same way?
Error.
Somebody said error. Fahim said error. Okay.
Yes, it should be like 1 to Ankit and then 3, 4, 5.
Okay. So somebody says it will be, I think that's Tushar, right? You're saying
Yes.
this basically.
Yeah, 1, 2 will be removed.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if the latest element will be placed at its position or the older will be considered. But as it may be checking existing element, so original element's position remains same.
Okay. So this is the correct answer, and this is a good answer. The reason being because I just told that doesn't allows you to store. They store basically unique values. They do not allow duplicates, or in other words, means it doesn't allow duplicates, and I am giving duplicates. So this is another important concept, guys, in Struts, that even though it doesn't allow duplicates, doesn't mean it doesn't allow you to give them while initializing. The only thing is internally, because when you print, you're printing from the memory, right? So internally, it is storing it as unique values, not the things that are repeating. So if you look, I'll come to it why this doesn't look like this. Ankit is at the end. We'll talk about it in a bit. But for now, just think this was the output. So it removed 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 are duplicates here. That is the most important thing. So if we have to define sets, basically, what rather 2 points about it, it removes the duplicates. We just saw it. It did remove the duplicates. And now I'm going to ask you, before I put the point, I'm going to ask you a question. So if I wanted to access Ankit, for example, can anybody tell me how can I do it, or what will be the value here that I can give?
So sets are not ordered, so we don't know where
Najam,
Ankit is. Okay, sorry.
yeah, don't give an answer.
Yeah,
That is clearly evident because I want others to think about
yeah,
it.
yeah. We can select print set x of -1.
Set x of -1, you said, for
Yes.
Ankit. Okay, so that is one answer. And Najam, I didn't mean to cut you. I know you know the right answer, but I want others to think. So
Yeah,
anybody
that's
else?
no, that's fine.
Anybody else who thinks that is the right answer, or there could be another answer? Set x of -1. That's actually quite interesting. That was Tushar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens. Come on. This thing is very slow today. Oh, I get an error. Set object is not subscriptable. Remember this, guys. This is the second part I wanted to talk about. So, what it
Okay.
means, in short, no concept of indexing in sets. And the reason is that sets do not store the values in the same way as list or anything else. And how it works is it internally stores, does anybody know? Using what? Anybody knows? Hashing mechanism. And with hashing, there is no way that you can find out the index of it. And the reason being, actually, you guys could have taken a hint from this. Remember when I ran this, I was expecting this, and this is the right answer too. But what did I get? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It only consists
Yeah,
of unique, no duplicate,
I
right?
yeah.
think
After
No, even this is
thoughts.
unique. If you look, I'm not comparing.
no,
But look
actually,
at
Ankit,
the.
after seeing that
Mhm.
answer, I thought that it is sorting that output.
That is
Sorting,
also a good idea. Yeah, that is a good
Yes.
idea. That's
sorting.
why you gave -1. Okay,
But
Yes.
good.
Ankit,
That's what I was thinking.
I
Why
have,
were you giving that?
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
go ahead.
let's see whether it's sorting or not. Just we give the it's Ankit, right? So we give some other
Hold on.
alphabet name. Let's see.
Hold on. I never said it's sorting, right? Ravi, don't jump. Hold on. I'm still coming to that. So the reason is, look at these two. They look similar, but they're not same. Ankit went to the end. This is not really sorting what you guys thought. If you keep running this and if you have this as a big data type, right, it will change Ankit to anywhere. It can even change. It's not about just Ankit. It can change. It can start with 2. It can start with 3, 4, 5, anywhere. So what it means is it doesn't store the way we are defining it. It stores randomly. I mean, it can store anywhere, anything, and it can change every run. If you run this statement again and again, right? So I'm getting this. It may not. It depends. It's a Python thing, and you can. That will change a lot when you have this as a big data element because it doesn't sort or anything. So that is the answer to your question, Ravi. It is not internally sorting or anything like that. Besides, even sorting, if you think, why would Ankit go at the end? It is not even the data type which is matching here, right? So it does not sort, it does not do any of that. All it does, it removes the duplicate and it does a hashing mechanism to store the values, which means it can store any value at any location, or in other words, any value at any index. That's the reason we are saying there is no concept of indexing, because you just saw, right? in this example, -1 was Ankit, but in my example, it's -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So it can store anywhere. It can store like this also. It can store like this also. It can even move this to somewhere here also. It's not for sure. So every time it will change in the memory. That is the reason. So first of all, who is KHY? Please don't message in the chat, otherwise I miss your question. Just unmute yourself and ask the question. And his question is, what is the use case when you use set? I'll come to that in a minute. Good question. So the point is that this can be stored anyway. It's an unordered, I think Najam was saying that. So it doesn't really care about the order. It's an unordered way of storing the elements. That's the another thing. So that's why if you look at the error, it says object is not subscriptable. So there's no concept of indexing. So there's no way we can get the value like this. Now, when we see this is an error, but there has to be a way to get a value, right? So you guys are going to tell me what is the way to, hold on a second, guys, my office keeps ringing me. So you guys are going to tell me what is the way to access Ankit from here. And that's an assignment for you. You can use Google for this. And I can tell you it's not very straightforward. So
We can typecast it to the list.
yes, of
Yes,
course. That is
assign.
easy, right? Yeah, that is easy. But I don't want to change the tuple itself. Oh, sorry, set.
Okay.
That is one way, of course, but I want to use still the set itself in order to do that. But is this clear? And I know hashing and all, I'm bringing these terms, but this you won't understand right now. These are all how the way memory management is done. And I don't think so I'm doing that session in this. Maybe, maybe not, but that's a very advanced topic. But the whole idea is, remember these things, it removes the duplicates, it's an unordered set, and it doesn't allow indexing or anything like that. So what are you guys think? Will it allow slicing? So if I did this, and let's say I did this, do you guys think this will be allowed? 2, 5 is what? 0, 1, 2,
No, no.
4, 5. Okay. So it'll be same error, right?
Yes.
And indeed it should be. Same thing. You always get the same error. So neither indexes nor slicing, nothing works on it. But there are still ways to access the element values. Otherwise, how will we work with it? So you have to find out and tell me in the next class. There could be maybe an inbuilt function or something like that. So you guys tell me how to access a particular element in a set. Try it without doing a Google, but if you think, basically how you try it is you try to practice it, right? So using print statement and setx and trying to find examples. So if you do this at example dot, I don't know how many of you are still using the VS Code or not, but you see there are so many things here. So you don't even need Google for that. So try to find out. If you're able to, it's good. If you're not able to, we'll discuss about it. There is one thing that I can tell you right now. You guys might have remember we discussed in operator earlier, right? So if, let's say I wanted to check if a particular element exists in this set or not, then it is simple, right? So if, what do I check for? Let's say I check for Ankit. In setx, then print yes. Else print no. What do you guys think it will print?
It will print yes.
Because what does the in operator do? All it does, it picks the value right here and checks in
Return
the
true or false.
exact. No, the true and false is the if condition. But in operator just tells basically whether whether that element exists in whatever is on the right hand side or not. This could be a set, this could be a list, this could be anything. Same thing, it can work in for loop as well. So that is pretty much it. So think about this, guys. How can we access an element in a particular set? I did not access it here. I am actually explicitly giving it. So that's the difference. Right? Anybody has any confusions there? Okay, let me go ahead. I'm not going to tell you about basics of your 7th, 8th grade maths. I know we most of the times we don't remember it. But it's basically what I'm talking about is this stuff. If you remember, we used to make these, right? Sorry, it's making weird.
Yeah, just like that union intersection.
Yes, so this part is my intersection, and then union is the whole thing. It's getting weird,
Yes.
actually. I'm going to stop making this figures. But you guys understand the idea. So we are going to talk about those here, and that's what sets are basically used for. Okay, so hold on a second. I'm getting a call from my office. Give me 1 second. Right, sorry about that. So that's basically the idea, and we're going to see programmatically how can we do. You guys are able to hear me, right? Can somebody confirm? Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, so nobody stopped me so far. What is this?
Oh,
This is a list.
yes.
I just said we have to use curly brackets. So these are now my sets. It doesn't matter what you give here, right? That's just a name. So we have to be very careful, guys. So we already know index is not supported, right? Indices is not supported, slicing is not supported. What do you guys think? Would concatenation be supported? Concatenation? So if I did set 1 plus set 2, and all those guys who joined today, you might not understand what it is, but once you just follow along and you might hear the earlier videos. So do you guys think this will be supported? And will it give an
Yes,
error? Okay,
it should. It should be.
okay, should be. So nobody says it's an error. Let's see what the output is. Oop, it's an error. Unsupported operand types for set and set. It's the same
Oh,
reason, Tushar, because when you do the concatenation, right, you basically use indexes. Even for that matter, let me remind you this. Just don't forget this ever. It can store the values anyway, right? So you're not sure which is stored where. So how will you concatenate it, basically? But there's a way
yeah.
to do what we want, and that is called the union. And we'll see in a minute what that is. But just remember, sets do not support concatenation the way we've been learning about concatenation. They do not support indexes, they do not support slicing, and they remove duplicates. So let's see the examples. Oops, sorry, union. So first example is union. So I have a set 1 equal to, I already have sets, why do I need another one? I'm going to put this in. Okay, set 1, let me make them a little tough. 1, 4, 5, 7, and then set 2 equal to, which is 5, right? 5, 6. Okay, so these are my two sets, all right? So now I want to print the union of those. So there's an inbuilt command, guys, in VS Code, right? If you do dot, you'll see a list of all the inbuilt functions that are there. So I wanted to go through a bit of them. Some of them we'll be talking, but not all of them. So you see union is right here. So what does union say? You can read it, right? So now I'm gonna do, so it's more like a function, inbuilt function, set 2. So what do you guys think would the output be? Do you guys remember the union part in maths, basic union?
Yeah, but that set one dot union we should need to put.
It would be 1,
Yeah,
4,
miss print set one.
It will be 1, what is it?
1, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Let's see the output. That is indeed correct. So you understand what a union concept is. Basically, you're just trying to, what we were trying to hear
That
in
concept, right?
short, we're trying to concatenate it. Sorry, Fahim, your voice is a little.
It's the math concept. The
Yeah, this is exactly math concept. That's why we use a lot of these in SciPy. So there's another way to do it using an operator. Does anybody know what the operator is for union? I think it is this union.
plus
I forget
minus
something. No, plus we saw, right? It didn't work. That is for concatenation. So
operator
sets uses different
greater than
operators.
greater than.
This is the OR symbol, which is on your keyboard. Where it is?
Yeah, this is the pipe.
Backslash. Yeah, pipe symbol or OR symbol. You can say that. So let's see if this works. Yeah, this is what is used for union. So it is simple. I'm not going to waste my time on this, and I'm just going to quickly move on. So if I wanted to do intersection, again, Python is so simple, guys. English, simple English. Just it has an inbuilt function for intersection. And you will see the output here. Do you know what the output would be?
It would be only 5.
Yes,
Five.
intersection means nothing but your common values. And what is the common value in both the sets? Only 5, as somebody said.
Yeah.
So let's make sure. Oh, we're getting 5 and 6. Why? I messed up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's the reason. There's no set actually. So set one dot set intersection. I was using set, that was a typo. So now you're getting 5. So another way to do this is set one. What is the operator here? I think it's and. Come on. So ampersand or and operator, whatever you want to say. Yes, indeed. So remember, guys, the or the pipe operator is for the union and is for the intersection. Again, these are all very simple stuff. I'm not really going to spend much time, but this is something where I want to talk about difference operator or difference in sets. So what does the difference in sets come
Is
from?
it like that minus operator?
It is the minus operator, yes. But what it actually means, it's not really
Yeah, means it.
subtracting 5 out of 1. But what it means is, yeah, go ahead, Tushar.
Yeah,
Duplicates it will be.
it's
Means
from
it
the whatever there will be in the first set. Means it will remove those from the second set. Oh, I'm
It will
confusing.
remove from the second set. Okay.
Yeah, it will remove the elements from the first set which are part of the second set. Only the
Okay.
unit values will be there from the set one.
So, okay, let me first put an example. Print set one dot difference set two. What do you think would be the output?
Uh, 147.
You're saying 147. Okay, anybody else wants to change or add or anything? So basically, I think Tushar, you got the difference wrong. What difference means is whatever is there in one set that is not there in the other set. Basically,
Okay.
nothing other than the common value.
So it would
Okay,
be
Actually,
means
that's
1.
that
right.
6
When
will
I
be
did it.
also there.
Yes, that's what I was hoping to get the answer. So you're saying 1467. Anybody else wants to say anything?
1, 4.
Okay, let's see.
But 6 is there in the second set.
So we got only 1, 4, and 7. What Tushar had said earlier.
Oh, yeah, Tushar is right because 6 is already there. In the other set.
No, but 6 is not here. So 6 should also be printed, right? Only common element is 5. So anything difference means anything that is common. I think but that is common. So whatever is common, remove that and print the rest of the stuff. So 147 is fine, but why not 6?
Yeah, my answer was that because of that.
Yeah. So you'll understand in a second the moment I'll do this. I hit the run fast. I wanted to ask you guys. So what is the answer now? See, 6. Does it give you any idea? But now you get 6, but in this one you're not getting 6.
Oh.
So the basic idea is you are putting this as an operator on what? Set 1. So in this case, you're only checking from set 1, not from set 2. You don't care about set 2 basically. All you care about is what is my difference of set 2 from set 1, which is 1, 4, 7. These don't
Hmm.
exist. I don't care if 6 exists in set 2. Similarly, when I change these, so now I'm only checking this guy. So I know 5 is the only common element, but 6 doesn't exist in set 1. So that's why it's printing 6. Did you guys understand this? It's very important.
Yeah, it's
And
more like a joining concept in the SQL that I
It's
could
the
relate.
opposite of it actually. Yeah. That
and
you're joining only whatever is not common.
Ankit, I think it would be easier if you showed using Venn diagrams, because intersect is just shading the intersection and union is shading everything else, and difference would be
Yeah, I'm
minus
not
that
very good
slice.
with those diagrams, so it was getting very weird. So I won't use those.
Okay.
But yes, like you said, it's your basic maths, right? But anyways, the point is that all these functions, whether you take this or you take intersection or difference, they all work in the same way. That whoever you're putting the function to would be considered as your main element. And then the next thing is actually added. For example, union is adding to it. So that's why you get 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Similarly, you're doing an intersection. So this is doing to this is the idea basically. And that's why we are putting when it comes to difference, this thing is difference from set 1. It doesn't care what is a part of set 2. Only thing that is common from set 2 will be omitted, nothing else. But nothing of set 2 would be added here. It's a plain difference. Oh, and I forgot to tell you about important thing about this and this. So why I told you that this or and this and parameter, this operator is doing this. So remember this, guys, when you're using conditional operators and stuff like that, when we go to if and for and all those stuff, we would mostly not be using this union and intersection. If we need to, we'll be using this notation. So that's one reason that I have it, that I basically showed you guys. So again, this is basic maths. I know most of us need a refresher, but that is for you to go through Google and go through those Venn diagrams. I was forgetting the name. Thank you, Najam. Venn diagrams, and you can see what it means. But this is how you do it programmatically in Python, and these are very much needed when you're talking about data science and stuff like that. So this is how it works in basic maths. I'm just gonna leave it there, and let's talk about more functions. Where am I typing? Set 1 dot. So we'll talk about add and discard in a minute. Copy is the same thing what we discussed in lists. It's just gonna make a copy of it and store it in a different location. Union we already discussed. Symmetric difference, intersection update, symmetric difference update, all these something you can read today, and then maybe I'll take a different class for this one.
Amit, Ankit, there is pop operation as well.
Yes, there's a pop also, we'll see. But first I wanted to talk about add. We saw add,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So what do you think add would do? So, okay, let me take a brand new examples, guys. Let me put this on the block comments. So I'm taking set 1 equal to, let me say 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 and 6. Okay, let me omit 3. So now I'm saying new set 1 or new set equal to set 1 dot add. Guys, can you go on mute? I'm hearing my own self. Okay, thank you. So if I do add 2, do you guys think it will work? Print of new set. Okay, I'm getting none. Can anybody explain me that? Let me explain it to you guys. So what happens is, or even before I do that, so none is generally when you're pointing to a null or no location or memory. So let me go ahead and initialize it as a new set, which is, new set as a set, which is holding no value. Would it change? No, it still doesn't change. So what is the problem here? We'll come back to this in a minute. Let me first tell you how will add work. So if I did, actually, let me take this back. So this is my set, okay? Now if I did set one dot add and two, do you think this will work? Let's see. Just give me 1 second, guys.
I don't understand. Add should add the element.
Yeah, give me 1 second, guys. I'm just drinking some water. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so it's still not doing it. Why? Any guesses?
The whole purpose of the add function is to add values, and sets are mutable, so I have no clue why it's not working.
Yes, I'm glad you remember that. The sets are mutable. So why am I still not getting it? Oh, look, it works. So I talk about that print thing. Why was it not working in print when we do classes and objects? It's a basic concept there, but right now you won't understand. But anyways, so we see when we put the add operand on the set itself, it does allow you to add to in it, right? You have to right now. But when we do new set equal to this, it doesn't allow. So basically, it doesn't work with the equal to operator. So it's very straightforward. You can only use the add operator on the original set. You cannot use a new set equal to old set or the original set dot add function. It is straightforward. Just remember that, guys. Python doesn't allow that. It will always point to null value, whether you initialize it or you do not initialize it. There is a reason for this, but we'll talk about it when we do dictionaries because the concept changes there. So now, do you think if I wanted to do this, hello, do you think this will work?
Yes.
So you're saying now it will be adding hello to 1, 4, 5, and 6, right? Let's see. Indeed did. Okay. What do you think about this? Do you think this will work? Will it still add hello?
Now we are adding the list to the set.
Yes. You actually said the answer, but it's still running. Unhashable type list. That is the error you get. Why? The error gives you a lot of idea about it.
For on the list, it is not able to do the hashing function by which it is
Correct.
storing the value.
Yes, and that is right answer. So the reason is if it were to add hello here, right? So if it was because now we are saying it's a list, so we are adding a list to this guy in this, and when we add a list to a set, that means we are somehow, if it was allowed, that means we are giving set to be able to play around with indexes. But remember what I said, why set doesn't support indexes here? Because internally it uses hashing mechanism. And that's what you see unhashable type. The error itself gives you the idea of what it says. So always look at the errors, guys. They give you a lot of information, and then you can understand what is the problem. Python is very good in that respect. So always remember, we cannot add a list element to a set. We can add a regular single element by element. There's another reason, because if I was allowed this, right, then that means I would also allow this to it. And that is the same thing. Now, if I'm adding 1, 2, 3, sorry, 1 is duplicate, right? 2 comma 3. I wanted to give you guys this first, but I missed it. So what am I doing? I'm actually putting 2, 3 anywhere. Remember, sets are unordered. They are never ordered. So we can't be sure where is 2 and 3. Again, the same concept. Then we cannot use list to figure out where the element is. And so that's why you can never add a list element or more than one element to a set. Just remember that, guys. When you do this, it is a string. So it's only one element. That's why it doesn't give you an error. It adds hello here. See? You saw that earlier it was adding hello at the end, now it is adding in here. That is what I've been saying since even now you see Ankit is coming here, earlier it was coming here. So every time you rerun it, it will change. It is not guaranteed that you will get the same output every time because remember set is an unordered element that stores the elements in an unordered fashion. It doesn't store the order in it. And that's why you can't even use sort in functions like that. Because what are you sorting against, right? You never know. So these are all basic stuff, but these are all interview questions. Sometimes they ask if you add a list to a set, what happens? Then, of course, they do not expect you to give this exact error, but you can always explain them that list cannot be added because internally sets use hashing mechanism and hashing cannot work with indexing. That's the reason we cannot add a list element to a set in simple terms. So that was the add function. Any questions there? I want to finish a couple more and then call it off. But if you guys have any questions on add, let me know. Okay, that's good. So we saw a pop function, right? I think Tushar saw it. So set 1 equal to 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. So let's say I do this set 1 dot pop. What do you think will happen? Any guesses?
I think if you specify an element, it'll pop something out.
Okay. All right, that's one idea. But what if I don't specify anything? What will be the output here? Will it be error? Where is my mouse? What happened? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, but I don't have an answer. So
That's okay. My laptop, my mouse got stuck. So I was thinking I heard or not. What happened? Oh, shoot. I can't do anything. My laptop is hung or what happened? Anyways, you guys think about the answer while I fix this. That's so weird. Never seen that. So nobody wants to take a stab, say anything, error or something.
so
Anything
maybe
fine,
it'll
right?
pop something.
Okay, so one answer I got, it will pop something, and that is actually the right answer. We'll see. Oh, let me do it this way. It's not a good idea for the same reason we saw earlier. Set 1. So what was my original set? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what do I get? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's popping number 1. Let's see if I run it again. And let me pop another element. Oh, it's popping 3 now. So it's basically popping starting from left to right. Is that a correct statement, guys? Or the first element? Do you guys think it's correct? No. This is still the right answer. It just happens that in this case, it popped out the first two elements. So that is the problem with pop. We cannot be sure if we wanted to pop number 5, we won't be able to show that even if you did 5 iterations, it will remove it. So set gave another function for that, and that is called discard. Very important, guys. Discard sole purpose is this only, what I was just showing you. That because with pop, we cannot be sure. So let's say if I did set 1 dot discard, what will happen? It should give me hopefully an error, or it should not work the way. Yeah, Because it takes one argument. Again, now this is the place where you have to tell which element you want to remove. So let's say I wanted to remove 4. Now you can be sure that 4 would be removed. See? But earlier, if you were doing pop, you won't be sure when is 4 going to be removed or not. It cannot be even with 1 iteration, it can be with 2 iterations, it can be ever. So that is the difference between pop and discard when it comes to set. This is another interview question, guys. Always remember, discard is going to remove the exact element, whichever you specify, and that is what it is used for. But pop can remove anything out of the set. In other examples, we have seen that it removes the first element, but not in set. For the simple reason because we don't know what is the first element. It happens to be this here, but internally it might be stored somewhere, some other way. So that's why pop is not the best method when you want to delete elements from set. Always use discard for it.
So can't you? So I have two questions. One is, can't you specify the element?
Let's try
And
that. I knew you were gonna ask that.
the other thing is, it doesn't make sense that, so anytime you apply a function to an existing variable, so set1 is a variable in this case, which contains the set 1 4 5 6. Okay, if you apply a function to it, you are able to store it in another variable. So why aren't we able to do that here?
You can do that. Who's stopping you to do that? But pop and
Um,
discard don't work on a different variable. They always work on the same variable. Even if you take a list and you use a pop, or I'm sure I don't think so discard exists. So you use delete, for example, in tuple or pop in general, that would work on the same element because you're popping it from that element. So it's the same thing everywhere. That has nothing to do with set or list. But let's see what happens here. This is your thing, right? I knew you can ask that. So pop takes no argument. That is your answer. I could have told you right there when you were saying pop number 4 and 5, but I wanted to run it and show it to you. Pop, I think it's first in last row or something like that. You have to Google it. I don't remember. But that's how pop works. So that's why even in strings, we have pop and remove. And even in other thing in list also, we have remove. So that's how it works in sets, guys. You have to give the exact element, not the index value, but the exact element value that you want it to be removed using discard function. And always remember, pop doesn't take any argument. It says right here, takes no arguments, and we gave 1. And for all those people who don't understand functions, you will know when we talk about functions what is the argument here. But for now, to understand, just remember this is an argument, and we are giving an argument in discard, and we're giving an argument in pop. But pop internally doesn't take any argument, so this will never work. But this works because you are not giving any argument. By default, it takes the first one. And discard doesn't work without an argument. So that's why we gave number 4. That is the argument. So now, we already passed, but one quick question, or one quick statement rather. If you search internet, right, sometimes you will get a statement like sets are immutable. But today we saw everything of the opposite, right? We saw we can add element to it. We saw we can remove element from it. We saw we can union it and whatnot. So what do they mean by that? Are they completely right or are they completely wrong? They're neither completely right nor completely wrong. So sets can be made immutable. Does anybody know how?
do you want me to say, or
Okay, now go ahead. Yeah,
a frozen set?
correct. So there's a new thing, or there's a separate thing that's called frozen set. So what it does, it makes the same set and makes it to immutable. Rest everything remains same. And how you do it is very simple. You use the keyword frozen set. So let's say new set equal to frozen set. What was my original set? Set1. So now if I print my new set or type of new set, what do you think it will be? I think it still shows as set only. Let's see. Yeah, it says class frozen set. So now you can still change elements in set1, but you cannot change elements in new set. It says frozen, or it's immutable in short. So remember this, guys, some people say sets are immutable. That's not entirely right. And that's not completely wrong. What they mean is that the frozen set is immutable, but the regular set is not. And there is no difference in defining a frozen set or a regular set, and nothing else doesn't apply to frozen set. It's all the same, except when you use the keyword frozen set and you convert a set to a frozen set, or even if you define it as a frozen set, then that becomes a frozen set, which is an immutable set. All right. So I think that's pretty much about everything that you need to know about sets. I want you to remember my assignment and tell me how, if I wanted to print Ankit is in this example, how can I print that element? You know, we cannot use indexes. So practice that, guys, and practice this. It's an important concept when you actually deal with data science and all. So think about it and let me know. Any questions before I close the call today? I guess none. Then I'll see you guys tomorrow. And before we go, I wanted to ask, let me first stop the recording here.